Welcome to the future, where the glass is half full and you'll need new glasses, where you'll be jumping from conclusions.
The past is alone, and a new future is born.
Never before in history has so much meant so little to so many. AD on the radio.
It's you and the senorita. Whooper blowing up the tweeter, cause it's me up in the speaker. Back in the mama seat, top down like a player. And the sound up in your ears, it is the dopest rhyme. Say I run a game like a cheater.
You should listen very closely to this. I want you to hear and understand these words. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Let's do that again. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Ralph Waldo Emerson. And the man had a point. Here's the thing. When it comes right down to it, it's easier to be yourself than you think. There's peer pressure. There's people pushing you to go in certain directions, asking you to do certain stuff. But if you are ever in need of a little bit of inspiration as to how to be yourself in this day and time when you are faced with constant judgment for your beliefs, no matter what those beliefs are. There's someone who vitriolically disagrees with them to the point where they're willing to shame and shun you for believing something. I don't care what it is. If you feel strongly about something, especially something political right around now, there's going to be someone willing to smack you down and tell you you're an idiot for believing it, no matter what it is, no matter what side you're on. And if you need a little guidance as to how to truly be yourself in these situations, I would advise that you look to the Dalai Lama-esque wisdom of Bob Ritchie, one Mr. Kid Rock. Mr. Ba, I am the bull god, the stone cold pimp of the nation, has become what I think is the voice of reason in American politics. And I'll tell you why, and I'll tell you how. Do you remember a couple of elections ago, a presidential hopeful called Barack Obama was viewed as a bit of an outsider? And one Mr. Kid Rock liked the cut of his jib. So what did he do? Being the passionate American that he is, that wants to be a part of the process that lands somebody in the White House, he threw in behind Barack Obama. He endorsed him for president as a Democrat. Cut to 4 years later, after Barack Obama's had his first term as president, Kid Rock, a little displeased with the end result. And his exact words were, he's definitely the coolest president we've ever had. I like him. I just didn't like the job he did as president. And being the impassioned American that wants to be a part of our political process that, again, will land somebody else in the White House, he decides to throw in behind the opposition. And Kid Rock endorses Mitt Romney because he likes the cut of his jib. He thinks he's going to do a better job than Barack would if he got elected again. See what he did there? He went, I'm going to vote for a Democrat. No, I don't care for what he did. I'm going to throw my support behind a Republican. Think Kid Rock's going to let himself be defined by the fact that you have to be registered as something in the in the primaries to be a part of our process? Hell no. He's going to do what he thinks is right. He's going to go with his conscience. He also, in a weird instance, became, like I said, the voice of reason, where he was just like, hey, big deal. I voted Democrat last time. I'm voting Republican this time. Who cares? It's just how I feel. Doesn't mean that I think people that vote differently are evil a-holes that hate America. You remember that video he did with Sean Penn? He was firmly a Republican. Sean Penn was firmly a Democrat, and they did a video about how they could still be friends. Amazing. Even the Nuge, Ted Nugent, will tell you that his greatest ability in life is the ability to get along with everyone, despite the fact that he is unbelievably and staunchly right-wing. he's able to get along with everyone. And that could be you. That could be you. You don't have to be a joiner. You don't have to fit in with your clique, your clan, the people that you hang out with. And I think a big part of how you accomplish that, a big part of how you become a strong individual in a land that is purported to celebrate individual liberty, yet really likes you, if you're a joiner, is be cool with everybody else. Oh, you're going to vote for that person? That's not really for me. I'm going to vote otherwise. But, I respect you. And something very important happened yesterday, really, that I think that should shape the future of America. We might have reached a tipping point, my friend, and we will discuss what that is next. Thank you for hanging out. At ADSXC is where you can tweet me. Join the conversation.
It's okay to disagree. It's not okay to be understimulated.
Well, I was just thinking that...
This is KPRC 950.
Where the left and right come together for fundamental truths. AD on the radio, on Twitter at ADSXE.
Yeah, I do what I want, when I want, how I want. Every day you're going and working, running that rat race at that pace in that place will leave a bad taste for anyone, everyone working day after day. So buddy, I gotta say for you, there's gotta be a better way. Yeah, and you do what they told ya. Company man, feel it, a mindless little soldier. How can you live like that and maintain your composure before it's begun? Your life's already freaking over. Yeah, I do what I want.
So I don't know if you have it running through your veins. I don't know if you have it as part of your genetic makeup, but I think a lot of people do. It's that punk rock thing. It's that sense of rebellion. It's that desire to go against the grain. It's that admiration for those that do go against the grain. It is that absolute contempt for the herd mentality that I know I have coursing through my body. And I'm guessing you have coursing through yours if you're still listening to this show at this stage in the game. But for that reason, I love it when people have the strength and the character and the sense to cross party lines when it represents what is in their heart. Now, understand I'm not coming down on the side of Trump, and I'm not coming down on the side of Hillary in this discussion. What I am coming down on the side of is the ability to think freely for yourself. I don't know if you caught it or not, but I think this is very important. I think this might be a bit of a tipping point in our country's history. Look, there's a lot of hashtag never Trump Republicans. And you know what? There's probably a lot of Democrats that really don't like Hillary that have talked about I'm going to vote for the other person. I'm going to stay home. Gary Johnson's my person, but whatever sort of shimmying around the question that they've been doing recently. This is a first. While everybody else has sort of waffled around, Republican Representative Richard Hanna of New York announced this past Tuesday, today, that he will vote for Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton in November, making him the very first member of Congress to announce that they're going to cross party lines on the day of the election. He said, "For me, it is not enough to simply denounce his comments." He wrote this on Syracuse.com. He said, "It is not enough to simply denounce his comments. He is unfit to serve our party and cannot lead this country." He went further. He said he's going to vote for Clinton. He was a never Trump, hashtag never Trump, for a while. He said Trump was self-involved. He said he was unrepentant. And he said the straw that broke the camel's back was Trump's fight with the Khan family, the Gold Star family, the Muslim family whose son died while serving America in Iraq. And he said that was what pushed him over the edge and made him take the leap to vote Clinton in November. A lot of people are saying this is the end. He's a rhino. He's a Republican in name only. And look, I understand if you are one of those people that feels like, hey, this is what we do. We're loyal to our party. We're loyal to the values of the Republican Party. It doesn't matter. Trump's going to fall in line if and when he wins, and everything's going to be cool. And I get why you would call him a turncoat and a traitor and all of the above. I understand that. And I don't know enough about this guy, and I don't know enough about his voting record, and I don't know enough about him as an individual to make a judgment call about his moral fiber and the type of person he is and whether he's spineless or whether he's brave. But I will tell you, standing up and making this announcement is a tipping point, I believe, in our country's history. Maybe we'll look back on it, and it'll be a whole bunch of nothing. But while some people view it as an indictment of how polarized our country has become, I view it as one of the most quintessentially American things a person can do. Stand up for what is right, despite what the herd mentality tells you to do. Your belief, whatever those beliefs are. Hear me on this. I'm not saying vote for Hillary Republicans, nor am I saying vote for Trump Democrats. I'm saying that America was founded by rule breakers. George Washington drank a toast to the King of England every single night out of respect. Yet he still knew it was time for America to become its own country. America was made great by rule breakers, people who broke rules for the right reason, people who knew in their heart something was wrong, that were willing to stand up and speak their heart. Rosa Parks, Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, rule breakers, all of them. And in a day and age when you are pressured constantly to join some sort of club, clean yourself of that individuality, embrace anonymity, become part of this amorphous, moving, restrictively controlled in its thinking mass of knee-jerk reactionaries. It takes heart, and it takes brains, and it takes courage to stand up for what you believe is right. Hannah wrote, while I disagree with her on many issues, I will vote for Mrs. Clinton. I will be hopeful and resolute in my belief that being a good American who loves his country is far more important than parties or winning and losing. I trust she can lead. Whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it is time to reform or pause and reflect. Mark Twain, thanks for hanging out.
Real Radio. Real Radio. 104.1.
Don't get the blues, get all the news. We mean all of you guys out there in Radio Land. All aboard!
He's back. AD on the radio.
Give it up, yeah. Give it up, yeah. Bring this on, come on, come on. That's the way you do what we do. That's the way you do what we do. That's the way you do what we do. You do what we do. You do what we do. That's the way you do what we do. That's the way you do what we do. That's the way you do what we do. You do what we do. You do what we do. Well, it's a new one. Here I come again, coming again, taking it back to the place where I'm picking up the pen. And before I started, it's already a killer. When you know that you're good, I gotta say that it's a thriller. Hey, I do it.
So if you head over to my Twitter feed at ADSXE, or if you check out our intern Brandy Anderson's Twitter feed, you will see pictures of us hanging out at a Shinedown show in Texas this past weekend, just gone by. It was good times. And it made me think, taking pictures, it's easy, and it's a great way of communicating your experiences to your friends, your family, your loved ones, and folks like that. But it is so different now. It is so different now from what it was to take a picture in the old days, as evidenced by one Norm MacDonald.
But I can't believe it's been a quarter century since I made my television debut. It was all different back then. It was back then. I remember if you wanted to take a picture, you would use a camera, not a telephone. As a matter of fact, if you used a telephone, people would look at you odd. Give it like. Just stay still like that. What about in the old days when they took pictures of you way back, you know, where they pulled that thing and exploded and stuff? I got a picture of my great-grandfather. The thing took 6 hours taking your picture, and there's a picture of my great-grandfather, one. Every guy had one picture back then. I gotta get back, feed them hogs. Who's gonna feed the hogs? Somebody gotta feed them hogs. Now, in the future, of course, it'll be different. 50 years from now, people will be going like, hey, you want to see 100,000 pictures of my great-grandfather?
One of my phones just died, and I got a replacement one under warranty a little while ago. I was like, oh no, I've lost so many pictures. And most of them were backed up on the SD card, so it was cool. And like all the ones that were really important to me, I was like, okay, they're still there. And then I was like, but I know there's several hundred pictures that I lost that I'll never see again. What were they of? I don't know. Hey, here's a novel thought. Maybe it doesn't matter. I was like, people take entirely too many pictures. You know, like, history will be so much less fun to study in the future. Like, we are the most well-documented people in the history of history. Like, you know, having to dig up pottery and being like, oh, looks like from the carbon-dated residue on this that they subsisted mostly on bean curd and woolly mammoth. None of that. There's going to be 18 million pictures of everybody's lunches from multiple angles. This didn't capture the deliciousness of my all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet. I've got to put a different filter on it. So there's going to be so much evidence to everything we do. Studying history will be so boring in the future because everybody will already know everything. And it's just like we will go down as the most self-indulgent, overrepresented in history generation ever. We need a new Dark Ages to make things interesting again. How many pictures do you have saved up on your phone, Funkhauser?
I thought he was going to ask me. Well, that's scary.
Well, look, I used to have a lot more than I do now, so let me just go to the phone here right here. Doodly-doo, 604.
And Brandy Aniston, how many pictures? Okay, so
Which
pictures
file?
of you are kind of your job.
Which file
pictures
do
of
you
you are
want?
kind of your. All I know is when, like, I work with AT&T. They don't give us any money for this show, but I work with AT&T, and they are dropping the Samsung Galaxy S7, and this is the most excited I've ever been for a new phone. Why? 200 gigabytes of storage. I was just like, yes! I don't have to worry about a cloud. I don't have to worry about anything. I can just have all my stuff, and it's going to be great. I know.
I need that.
Hey. We should probably send this to AT&T. Maybe they will give us some money.
I have almost 10,000 in my camera roll.
10,000 pictures in your
9,937 right now. So if I take a few more, I'll just have 10,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
The obsessive compulsive in me would want to just take enough so I would have 10,000, but then I couldn't take any more.
Right.
It would be a whole big mess. Hey, yesterday on the show, we did not, in fact, get a chance to talk about the story of Donald Trump getting stuck in the in an elevator and somehow finding a way to pin it on Democrats. And hopefully we'll have a chance to get to that a little later on in the day. We're going to go through the news super quick, but I wanted to, did you catch this? Donald Trump called Hillary Clinton the devil the other day?
I caught it.
Yeah,
I heard about it.
For those that missed.
If he would have just not done anything, just go home, go to sleep, relax, he would have been a hero. But he made a deal with the devil. She's the devil. He made a deal with the devil. It's true.
Could it be Satan?
All right. Besides Hillary Clinton being Beelzebub, what is going on in the world, Brandy Aniston?
The growing popularity of trampoline parks has been linked to a higher rates of emergency room visits.
Well, trampoline parks, that's a thing?
I go to
That's
them.
a
They're
thing.
so much fun. You get trampolines on the walls. They're everywhere. It's like a whole
no idea.
bounce house.
Yeah.
So much
They
fun.
look amazing, and I want to try them. And, like, so I... Through a
you don't want to
series
be that
of-
guy at the trampoline park without a kid.
Through a series of misadventures, I've managed to jack up. Between motorbikes and skateboards and BMX accidents, my ankle is all sorts of messed up, and so I'm always just like, I want to go, but I know I'll be like 3 bounces in, and I'll hear a pop. But some of my friends used to go play trampoline basketball and trampoline volleyball. I was like, that looks amazing.
Yeah.
So no, I wouldn't go by myself as the lone adult, I would find some other some other very immature dudes that wanted to go play like trampoline basketball and have a go at it. But now, like right around the time I was thinking, I finally got to make a trip to one of those places, people would be like, yeah, hey, you know that thing where you bounce around an entire room going 20 to 30 feet in the air? Interestingly enough, not so safe. Emergency room visits are way the hell up. In other words, someday we'll pine for the good old days when kids were just into walking into poles playing Pokemon Go.
Oh,
yep.
Goodness.
Sorry, kids. Physical activity is dangerous, so by all means, continue to stay home Snapchatting your friends inappropriate pictures of you that you shouldn't be snapping. Go on.
An Irish pub put Donald Trump's face in its urinals.
I saw that. I love it.
I love it, too. That's great.
Here's
I want
the thing.
to pee on his face.
All right, Funkhauser, context. Can we say that on the air? Like,
I
you
think
removed
it's
that
in story, sure.
Yeah, it's in story.
She didn't say anything wrong. She said what she wanted to do.
Yeah.
If given the opportunity.
Yeah, I want to use that bathroom.
She used the right vernacular. I mean, I'd give her an A+ as an intern.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Donald bounced back quickly. Donald will let you know it is the most popular urinal trough in all of Ireland. That much he can tell you. That much he can tell you. It's a terrible Trump impersonation. I don't take solace in the fact that nobody can do a good one. Go on.
Chelsea Clinton said she and Ivanka Trump are absolutely friends.
Why? Do you think you could be friends with the daughter of someone whose dad called your mom the devil?
No.
Yeah.
No.
And it makes me wonder.
Hey, friends with devil.
Maybe they bond over having a parent who nobody likes. I'm not sure. But like the thing about that is it makes me wonder if this is all a big act. When the Tea Party started picking up steam, when the Tea Party started calling normal sort of like old school Republicans rhinos, Republicans in name only, saying you're not conservative enough, why don't you go join the Democratic Party because that's what you are. There started to be these huge divisions in the ranks of the right when the Tea Party started to really pick up some steam. And what's interesting about that is I saw what was going on. I was like, look how divided we are on the right over here. And it gave me the notion that possibly the Tea Party was funded secretly by Hillary for president. And it makes me wonder if this whole thing is just a goof. If Chelsea Clinton and Ivanka Trump are besties, does that not make you kind of sort of think possibly this is all just a sham? Like, she was like, hey, Donald, thank you for coming to the daughter's wedding. That was really cool. I got something else that I'd like to call in a favor here. And, you know, we're going to continue to scratch our backs throughout history, scratch each other's backs throughout history. But if you could take a run at being president and completely divide the right and make folks like that Republican congressman in upstate New York cross party lines and say they're voting for me, then it'll be a lock and I'll be able to get you anything you want. Sounds great. We'll be huge. It just makes me wonder if this whole thing is a giant sham because, you know, I probably could not be friends with somebody that called my mom the devil.
No. I couldn't.
There you go.
If my mom was dressed as the devil, though, for Halloween, that would be different.
That'd be different. That would be,
devil for the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, devil for the day. Got my Mephistopheles costume, and I'm good to go. What else?
Well, and invertedly to that story, Donald Trump says he wishes his daughter Ivanka wasn't friends with Chelsea Clinton.
Yeah, but not as much as he wishes Ivanka wasn't his daughter so he could date her. Creepy!
Yeah! Those pictures are really creepy.
Pictures.
Not even lying.
Well, I mean, also the fact that he said if she wasn't my daughter, I would probably date her. You know, pictures.
I disavow.
You know?
Okay.
Well played, Funkhauser. Well played. All right, get more.
There's a lot of buzz about Melania Trump's nude photos from a 1995 shoot posted on the cover of the New York Post. I saw this. It was.
What's her name again?
Melania. It's a good photo. I mean, when else are you going to see the first lady like that? I mean, if she is,
there are several good photos. There's some girl-on-girl stuff happening there as well. Yeah, I don't see like it was on the cover of the New York Post. I don't think the girl-on-girl stuff made the.
Whoa! Yeah.
That did not make the New York Post, but there's also her sort of like hanging around.
She's really naked there. Wow.
These are not all her.
Oh.
Yeah. But they're like dot matrixed out. Yeah. You know what it proves? It proves that, like her husband, she's obviously anti-Bush. Go on.
McDonald's announced they're removing artificial flavorings from their chicken nuggets. No!
You like chicken nuggets?
I love their chicken nuggets. You leave those alone, McDonald's.
I love the artificial flavors.
I do. Don't take away my one pure, horrible joy.
Let me ask you this: if you're a fan of the McNugget, how old is your little McNugget? Your kid's about to have a birthday, right?
He's turning 11 tomorrow. Oh my gosh!
Aw, that's awesome. So, have you fed him McNuggets?
Yes, all the time. Actually, when I was pregnant for him, that was the only food that I would not get sick on.
Really?
No joke. I would have to eat chicken nuggets from McDonald's and French fries. That was the only food that would not make me sick. So
Wow.
he's always
Yummy.
been a McNugget.
He's always been a McNugget. Is he McTall or is he McStunted in his growth?
Have you seen his mom? He's McStunted.
He's McStunted. Well, yeah, I guess you're.
But you know what? No, he's got some pretty big feet, so I think he's going to grow into them. And you know what? He keeps telling me, my doctor said I'm going to be 5'10", so
Yeah.
I'm hoping for him.
I guess we can't blame it on the McNuggets because you're not McTall. So
No.
we don't have enough McEvidence.
You don't
to
have a
commit.
McStory.
So yeah, I got
No
no McStory.
McStory for you.
And we're going to have to charge them.
We should probably move
Are we
along to the
sponsored by
next one.
McDonald's?
We're about to be.
Not right McNow, but maybe Mc later.
Oh, no. Oh, goodness. Okay.
So artificial flavorings now join actual chicken as things you won't find in chicken McNuggets.
Well, what are they going to taste like now? McNothing.
Who McKnows? All right, no, real classy. Let's just get to the story.
Real classy. Why don't we just go to the story?
I can't do that. Oh, okay. HBO confirmed. Oh, no. Game of Thrones is ending after season 8.
I'm so glad you review the news before you read it. Like it's that tone of surprise that really lets me know you're doing the homework as our intern.
Oh, no. Okay.
Oh, McNo.
Don't do that.
They confirmed Game of Thrones is ending after season 8, not because of the ratings, but just because everybody on the show's dead. Like, you care about somebody for a couple of seasons?
Is it bad that I've never watched an episode?
Nope.
And you were still upset that it was being canceled?
Because I know everybody else in the world's going to be really mad because all I see is on Twitter. It's like Game of Thrones.
She was upset like a super fan, too.
Yeah.
I just thought it was kind of shocking. I thought that was like the biggest show. It would be like somebody saying The Walking Dead's over. Is that over?
I love it when these shows get canceled or when they reach their end because it means I can start watching them. Because I hate playing catch up. If I'm going to get invested in something, I'm going to watch the entire series.
They were dead the whole time.
One episode after another. Yeah,
they were dead the whole time.
There you go. One more piece of news, quick.
Live with Kelly is continuing to try out new co-hosts.
So stay by that cell phone, Bill Cosby.
Jamming on the one like Theo Huxtable. Days like this when I feel untouchable. I try and make up for all the wrongs I did by living my life like a Cosby kid. Jamming on the one like Theo and Stevie. I know it sounds crazy, but you gotta believe me when I...
Stimulated minds want to know, what were you thinking? No, really, give us a call and tell us. KPRC AM 950.
Now, more AD on the radio.
Back once again, the ill behavior, delivering and giving you a musical savior. Back once again, it's your boy AD again. Nobody rock a party better than me. Back once again, the ill behavior, delivering and giving you a musical savior. Back once again, it's your boy AD again. Nobody rock a party better than me.
Alrighty, then let's roll through what remains of the news, and then we'll talk about Donald Trump getting caught in an elevator. Got a tweet from Scott who said, "You say the show's not slanted, but usually travels toward the real Donald Trump." Here's the thing about that. And you know what? Over the past couple days, I absolutely concur with you, Scott. And he said, I notice, but still listen. And this is what I love, because I know that we draw listeners who are very passionate about their political beliefs from both sides of the fence. And I consider it a tremendous compliment and a tremendous tribute to the intelligence and integrity of the people that listen to this show, that they'll stick around through stuff that they don't necessarily believe or that they don't necessarily agree with. Now, Donald Trump has sucked up a lot of the oxygen recently, and this is part of the reason why he is doing so well. This is the reason why he is the Republican nominee for president, because he knows how to speak in sound bites. He knows how to create sensationalism. He knows how to climb to the top of the media heap. And you know what? Clinton, a little bit more reserved. Look, if Gary Johnson was an absolute wingnut and was out there speaking and doing and acting crazy, if he was doing things that were going to, if he was able to produce an incendiary soundbite the way Donald Trump was, I think he would be way more up in the game than he actually is. I really, really do. He doesn't do that, or at least he hasn't done that yet, and Donald Trump does it better than anyone else. Remember little Marco Rubio, as he called him? When he tried to play Trump's game, when he tried to go for snaps in that one debate where he started talking about the size of Donald Trump's hands, when he was just like, to stay alive in this competition, I'm going to have to go after the size of Donald Trump's manhood. You know, like a lot of people pin that one on the Donald, but that's not the case. It came from Marco Rubio. He tried to play Donald Trump's game and he lost because nobody does it better than Trump. So if you notice we're talking about Trump a lot, it's because there's a lot to talk about with Trump. There is a lot to talk about with Trump lately. And we've gone after Hillary numerous times. We've gone after her over Benghazi. We've gone after her over her emails. We've gone after Barack Obama for being the president that has ordered the construction of the most nuclear warheads on the face of the planet in the history of presidency, right after winning the Nobel Peace Prize for saying that he was going to do away with nukes. We've gone after hypocrisy wherever it exists. But the fact remains, Donald Trump is a topic of conversation for us because, well, he's good at getting up in the game. So I understand how you might feel that way, but recognize, if you're asking me to commit to where this show is and is it slanted at the moment, this show is always going to be slanted in terms of common sense. We slant toward common sense. Now then, I understand that folks that have spoken out against Donald Trump, who are McCain. Let's take McCain for a little bit. Who, look, he's had an ongoing war of words with Donald Trump for a while now. And McCain has been someone who is not really up in the game in the Republican Party for a bunch of different reasons. Right, wrong, who knows? But I do know this. He spoke out against Donald Trump. He took a swing at Donald Trump with regard to Donald Trump's words and deeds when it comes to the family, the Khan family. And was that an opportunistic jab because Donald Trump had taken some at him? Yeah, probably was. But the fact remains that these things need to be discussed, and they need to be discussed freely and openly. And understand, when I say these things, I don't disrespect what you're saying. If you're asking me to come down on the side of someone, I haven't done that yet. And I'm not sure I will in this election. I have to think very carefully. And I also don't know if I'm going to be telling anybody. When I first started this show, my one rule was, hey, don't say if you're a Republican or a Democrat. We think you might be the future of talk radio. We also think that we made great money off of dividing people for a very long time. It doesn't seem like that's going to work moving forward, so just don't say if you're a Republican or a Democrat. And I was like, well, that's easy because I'm neither. I'm an individual. I believe in, well, it's not even voting the person, not the party. I believe in issues. Now, it's an awful lot of homework. It's an awful lot of homework if you're going to really participate in our version of government, to examine how every single candidate feels about every single issue that might affect you from a national and federal and local standpoint. But I believe in the agility of the individual. I believe in the ability to not become a part of an amorphous, unthinking blob. And I think that you'll find that when we started out, I, like a lot of folks, went, hey, Trump, maybe. I know, he shoots from the hip. He's got a big mouth. he says things that are not politically correct, but haven't we all been mired down by political correctness? Isn't it stopping us from being the best versions of ourselves that we can be when we are constantly afraid to say what's in our heart because we are worried someone's going to jump all over us? We have no malice toward anyone, yet we're worried to speak our minds because the entirety of the interwebs is going to condemn us as being politically incorrect. We've all felt that. We've all felt that pressure. And this is what we do on this show. We do not bow to that pressure. We are seekers of truth, and we are seekers of doing. And I want to put this in the proper way. We are seekers of truth, and we are seekers of doing the right thing. Does that make sense? Does that hang together? So, regardless of where we're going with party politics or not, my end goal always has been and always will be this. Think of what you picture as being your American dream. What do you want for yourself? What do you want for your children? What do you want for this country? If you ask most people, it's pretty similar. We all want a roof over our heads. We want shelter. We want to do work that we find to be meaningful. We want to not worry about putting food on the table for ourselves and those that matter the most to us. We want our kids to have a shot. And for a lot of people, our kids having a shot means an education, chance at surviving and thriving in this world. We all want the same things, but we have, in some cases, radically different ideas of the best way to get there. And what I'm saying is, don't hang out with a bunch of people that agree with you all the time. Recognize we all have the same end goal in mind and think, hey, maybe we can have a conversation. And maybe, just maybe, we can learn something from one another and get there faster.
There's something happening here, and you should know what it is. The Dumbing Up of America. Now, more AD on the radio.
Oh, sorry, are we on the air?
Yeah.
I'm looking at pictures of Melania Trump naked. You know, on the one hand...
Does that come to a story? Does that remind you of something to say, looking at that?
You know, quite frankly...
Come to mind?
I'm a scotch speechless. Like, credit where credit is due. I see evidence of squats and sit-ups, two things that I can't bring myself to do. Like, very, very impressive stuff. The Trump campaign, interestingly enough, and case in point, I kind of sort of agree with this. While it might alienate a lot of folks, the fact that you can see the First Lady naked in a girl-on-girl sort of way, the Trump campaign has said they don't care that the photos are out. An advisor said there's nothing to be embarrassed about. She's a beautiful woman. In fact, folks over at Gawker are saying that Donald might have leaked the photos himself to distract people from the ongoing feud with Gold Star parents, the Khan family. Yeah, interesting. Very, you know, I hadn't taken a, whoa, Nelly, I hadn't seen this one before. Oh, wow. Like I said.
Description?
Just, well, it's,
Can you tweet that one out?
No. Well, I could. It's just not the sort of thing I tweet. That's yeah. Oh. To quote the great George Costanza, good Lord above. Yeah. And you know what? Honestly, I don't think there is anything to be ashamed of. I really don't, especially in this day and age where we've come so far in terms of nudity and taboos and things of that nature. I mean, like, come on, is this really an issue to be upset over? But, you know, it's like, it's what Donald Trump does and does so well. If, in fact, he was the person that did purposefully leak these pictures, well, you know, that's a distraction from a bit of an oops that he's got going on with the Khan family, as many people say. But here's the interesting part of it. It kind of falls into that category, if he did do it, of the game that he plays so much better than anybody else. And look, I don't think that there's anything wrong with our president. I don't think there's anything wrong with our president being married to someone that used to pose nude for a living, if that's in fact what she did. JFK was with Marilyn Monroe. Bill Clinton, noted Oval Office horn dog. It doesn't have anything to do with their ability to run the country or not. It really doesn't. But what it does is it challenges the perceptions of Americans. It challenges the perceptions in the status quo. And look, maybe that's a good thing. It's just the question of, is it too soon? Is it too soon? Funkhauser, Brandy, do you think America's ready for a first lady that they've all seen naked?
No.
I don't know. Maybe.
No.
Now, when you say no, when you say no, like, because my first thing is look, this is a person who has to represent America on the world stage. This is a person that has to be taken seriously by other world leaders. This is a person that has to have the ability to build rapport with others. Now, Donald Trump has always built rapport, and usually it's been through things like money and having hot wives. Like, hey, have you met my wife? She's super hot. You want to be friends? Okay. Hey, I've got lots of money too. Want to go out on my jet and go to my golf course? Like, he's really, really good at making very, very important friends by using things like that to grease the wheels of commerce. Now, when you're a president dealing with other people over international issues, I don't understand. I don't necessarily know if the same rules would apply. So for that reason, I say, look, you got to kind of command a certain amount of respect when you walk into a room. Did George Bush command that respect from other world leaders? Does Barack Obama? I don't know. But here's the thing. Why do you think it is not presidential to have a first lady who the world has seen naked?
Why don't I? Coming from being a girl in the adult world who everyone has seen naked and feeling the level of non-respect that I get from a lot of people, I could only imagine if it was on a higher level of a political balance. And this is not against Donald Trump. I don't want anybody to think that I'm throwing my political views out there. I just feel personally that if our first lady has already been seen nude or seen nude by the rest of the world, it's just not the greatest.
Takes women back,
it's not the greatest look. It kind of, I mean, a lot of women would say it's liberating. She's being herself and she's nude, and I understand that, and I fully back women in their beauty and being naked. But at the same time, this is politics and world problems and leaders and really serious issues. And I just know from the level of the way people have treated me throughout the years and looked down on me and thought, oh, this girl can never get a different kind of career. She's just an adult naked person. And that's kind of what I felt all along. So I can only imagine on that level where it would be at. But I mean, since she has done it, I mean, be proud and live with it. I mean, there's nothing she can do to take it back.
You know, that's very interesting because you bring up, there is a fine line between what is liberating and what is exploitive. And I don't know if it's a moving target, and I don't know if it's easy to figure out exactly what the definition is. I think it's in the eye of the beholder. To some people, that might be incredibly liberating. To other people, it might be objectifying and minimizing to her as a person. You know, it's just like it's a horrible thing to think. It's a horrible thing to think. But like, I find myself hoping that if I ever have a daughter, I would love it if she was pretty and happy with the way that she looked, but I would hate for my daughter to be hot because I see how men think of and treat women that they view as being incredibly attractive. It's just, you know, it's like it's a caveman-esque knee-jerk reaction, and it is not okay, and it's a minimizing thing, and I don't know how much it really holds women back, but to me, when I am working with folks in a professional capacity, and I'm with a bunch of dudes who are not bad dudes, and they meet another dude, they kind of take them at face value. It doesn't matter how they look. I mean, if they look like a slob, that'll be the takeaway. If they haven't washed or shaved a little while, that's going to affect their judgment of them. But if a smoking hot female who happens to be a coworker is introduced to them, they're going to go, whoa, she's hot. And I've seen it happen for years and years and years and years. I saw it when I was a musician. You'd get the female crew members or female musicians and be like, wow, what's her music like? Well, I don't know, but she's hot. They're like, oh, come on, man. Exactly. Really? Are we? And it's like, and these are not bad, sexist men that I've seen do this. It's this terrible, awful, caveman-esque thing that hopefully we will evolve beyond. But I'm telling you, we haven't done it yet. We haven't done it yet. And it's just like, so I pray that if I have a daughter, she's pretty and feels happy about the way that she looks, but I would never want her to be hot. It'd be so, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And I've met females that go, oh, it's the way you carry yourself and all this sort of stuff. I was like, no. You haven't been in the room after you've left. Yeah. It's just like, and it's a horrible, horrible thing. And I think you might be right. I think it might be a minimizing thing. But look, Donald Trump has a piece of arm candy. That's how the rest of the world views it. And no one's inviting Melania Trump to the Algonquin Round Table at this stage in the game. She gave what a lot of people have thought have been some very inspiring speeches, and that's been super cool. But ultimately, when the world looks at Melania Trump, incorrectly, they're viewing her as arm candy. So maybe if these pictures were leaked by the Trump campaign, it's like, hey, she's trending as arm candy. We're going to make her even more arm candy-esque, and we are going to ride that all the way to the White House. So who knows?
I mean, shouldn't we be focused on him and not his naked wife? I don't know. It's just distracting, I think. As the
first
thing.
lady
Let's
thing.
Let's distract them with my naked wife so they don't remember how I'm acting. I get it.
The first lady or the first, what are we going to call Bill Clinton if he's the first something?
First man.
The first man. Like, it just makes it sound like he's a piece of history. The first man, or the first lady. And quite frankly, like, I understand that, look, America is a country that is sort of built on this idea of family values, and like a lot of things, family values are a bit of a moving target in this day and age, and there are all sorts of variations on the traditional nuclear family that people have come to love and respect. And the thing about the presidency is, I think people want to see their own family reflected in that. I was a big fan of Rudy Giuliani when he was thinking about trying to be president. He was my mayor in New York City during 9/11. And a lot of people go, well, that doesn't mean he's going to make a good president. No, but the way he handled that was absolutely amazing. And before that, he cleaned up New York City. He regentrified the entire place. He brought it from being a very dangerous city to live in to being one of the lowest crime per capita cities in all of America. He managed to make New York into what it was, and a lot of people say he sucked all the character out of it. But yeah, he also made it significantly less stabby. He made it a much easier, cleaner, better place to live. Now, I really admired that. But the thing that kind of torpedoed his presidential ambitions, I think, was when his kids came out and spoke against him, saying he's a jerk, he's not good to our mom. They've been divorced, and he's kind of a scumbag to us, and he's not a good family man. And immediately, I thought it was over for him because he wasn't a good family man. And you know what? He might be an abysmal family man. He might have been a jerk to his ex-wife. He might not have been the best father to his kids. But I saw him serve the people of New York in an absolutely stellar way. I witnessed him making palpable change in my life. And I was just like, that's sort of what I care about. If I'm going to vote for somebody, that's what I care about. What are they going to do to our everyday existence? And Giuliani had a marked and profound effect on those things. Yet he was dead in the water because he wasn't a family man. And I just like, who cares? Who cares? I don't really care about the idea of the first man or the first lady. I care about the person making the decisions in the White House, pressing the buttons or not pressing the buttons. That's what I care about. Yet the idea of the first lady and what they have to say, or the first man and what he has to say, has become absolutely pivotal in the process of getting elected. Like, can you imagine have we had a single president in the since, I don't know, 1950? Like, is the idea of an unmarried president absolutely unthinkable? I think it is. Do you think we'd be able to have a freewheeling single president in the White House? No, we wouldn't. Why? Don't know, but we wouldn't be able to. It's crazy to me that we put so much emphasis on who the first lady or the first man is and what they do. Boy, that was random, not unlike George Carlin.
One tooth would you brush it longer? I think I would stay on it for several minutes, will you? You know what you want to watch out for? A brain surgeon with Born to Lose tattooed on his hands. If you fall asleep on a couch in a house where a woman is present, when you wake up, you will have a blanket on you. It's true.
And maybe that's why we need a first lady. I don't know. I do know this, though. I thank you for hanging out. I thank you for being a part of our radio family. No matter who it is you are and what it is you think and who you intend to vote for, I welcome you with open arms, especially if we disagree. Because you know what? If we disagree, yet we can talk, there's a very good chance we're both going to learn something. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll do this all over again. In the meantime, tweet us at ADSXE, at Brandy Anderson, at Funk FM.